country. Jeffrey Sachs with us from Columbia. We were talking, Jeff, and I do want to go back to this. You were talking about the Keynesian switch of just get the government to help us out. You say we need assistance, but that's not the right path. The Krugman approach is wrong. Continue that discussion.
I think that when we did the stimulus, and it was about 4 percentage points of GDP in shift of our structural deficit, I don't think we got much out of it. Households saved a bit of the taxes that they got. Governments at state and local level, which received some federal transfers, used that to pay down some of their debts. There just wasn't a lot of stimulus. The Keynesian model says you turn the dial, you get a predictable, significant response that bridges you to recovery. I don't think we got much of a response, and we certainly didn't get a bridge to longer-term recovery. The problem with Keynesianism is it adds a lot of debt, but it doesn't do anything, in my opinion, to give a new medium-term perspective to economic growth.
Right.
And what was interesting with Paul, who has been saying for years, don't worry about the debt, don't worry about the debt. He complained a few days ago about the European bailout of the Spanish banks, that it went through the Spanish government because he said it loaded the Spanish government with massive debt. So what good was it?
Right.
This was the first time I saw in a column of his saying debt matters. Of course debt matters.
Yeah. You are more qualified than anyone I know to link together international economics back into fiscal and monetary policy in the United States. How does globalism and this new globalization, how does it affect Washington's ability to jumpstart our economy, to make the right choices?
Well, one thing is we have a race to the bottom in actual tax collections. The world is rife with tax havens, of course, and we're losing our taxes, especially on the corporate side, to these tax havens. We've given up the corporate taxes. They're down 1 percentage point of GDP just because of these loopholes that we've created.
We have a surprise for you, just for you.
Sure.
Folks, this is what we do. We bring you Jeff Sachs of Columbia University. You heard him mention the Bank of International Settlements, joining us from Brandeis University, and now the chief economist in Basel, Switzerland, at the BIS, Stephen Cecchetti. Professor Cecchetti, good morning.
Oh, hi. How are you, Tom? Hi, Jeff.
Hey, how are you?
You're here with Jeff Sachs. Why is your annual report so strident and so forceful about the global financial crisis?
Well, I think the basic thing is that we feel that that people still haven't done what they really need to do to make the adjustments to balance sheets, to make the adjustments, especially to a lot of financial institutions, and now to governments, in order to bring the economy back to a sustainable growth path. And you know, we've been watching this now for 4+ years and
right.
trying to make suggestions, and people really I think is still limited progress.
Jeff Sachs, a question for Steve Cecchetti.
Well, Steve, first I thought the report was just stunningly good, incredibly informative. It is must-reading for everybody. Just download it. You did a fantastic job. What I've been wondering about is, why is he so completely fixated on the fiscal issues without paying attention to what is clearly the roiling banking crisis in Europe? Why can't they even find the word banks in their public policy discussion?
Well, I mean, I can't speak for the Germans themselves, but I mean, we're pretty. I think we've been pretty clear that there are a lot of steps that you have to take, and that the first step is, in fact, the banks, and that without recapitalizing the banks, which you would hopefully be able to do relatively quickly. I mean, some of it is just realistic accounting on loan losses and asset valuations, and I you know, you keep hoping and thinking that people will come together and realize that's the first step, and that then the fiscal issues you'll have the space to solve those once you work on that. So I can't answer the question as to why people aren't saying it, but I hope they start soon.
Stephen Cecchetti, thank you so much on short notice in Basel, Switzerland. That's what we try to do on the program. So, Jeff, I want you to sum this up for us. There's a discussion of a United States of Europe. I remember there used to be a United States of Russia when you were a young buck over there advising people. What is the likelihood of success at getting a United States of Europe?
I think they're adrift in policy right now because, as Stephen just said, they need to look to the banks, but instead they're talking about long-term changes. Headlines of the Financial Times today is not about fixing the banks. It's about EU plan to rewrite budgets.
Victor,
they're still on the fiscal policy.
It's another pretty photo of pretty flags. I mean, that's what they like to do, isn't it?
I don't think they're going to make it in this way. I just can't see the realism. They don't understand they have a roiling financial crisis that they need to deal with, and they're talking about these longer-term issues. The fact of the matter is the public doesn't support the direction that they're taking in most of the countries. That's the fundamental weakness. The politicians are not in the right direction, and they don't have the public support behind them. It's not a great picture.
Jeff Sachs, thank you so much. Love doing that with you. And we can keep going. Okay, Sarah, jump in here with a quick question. If you
Well, it just occurs to me that the Netherlands just has its AAA rating affirmed. I mean, how can they go to Eurobonds when you have these AAA countries like Germany, like the Netherlands, and then Greece?
Well, it's interesting. The Netherlands is also the toughest against the Eurobonds. Of course, it's the toughest against bailouts. Its language towards Greece is get your act together or get out of here.
Okay.
So they're pretty...
Yeah, just another
Jeff
problem
Sachs,
here.
thank you so much. Jeff Sachs with Columbia University.